I work under the trees near the street. Obviously, we are not safe. But as long as you make the living for your kids.
I have something they need, and then they have something I need. So it's an exchange. I never thought I could be arrested for that.
We're here in a hotspot, about an hour away from Johannesburg. This is a place where sex workers work. They hang out here, often under a tree, wait for clients. They'll usually have sex with them in the bushes.
There's a mat down there, and this is where we do the job.
Sex work is a crime in South Africa, but making it illegal to be a sex worker only makes it harder and more dangerous for women to do this very difficult work. They're constantly under threat of arrest, and if they're a victim of a crime, they feel it's pointless to go to the police. The most vulnerable sex workers we interviewed were those working downtown in the central business district of Johannesburg. This place is really dark and kind of scary. It's in the middle of the day and, you can barely see inside here. This is a place where about 10, 15 sex workers are working. They come here during the day because it's safer, but also because they have kids at home, sometimes 5 or more kids to support with this work. There's very little security. So if a client or someone pretending to be a client attacks them or threatens them with a knife or a gun, there's very little they can do. Most of the women that I've interviewed won't go to the police because they're afraid they'll be arrested or even just be laughed out of the place.
Last time I was robbed and then they took my money and bad things happened to me. I was raped. I went to the police till today. They didn't do anything. When you go to the police, they ask you why didn't you stay home?
With the current system, most of the time sex workers are actually arrested under municipal bylaws. So it would be loitering or it would be public nuisance. We're talking about sex workers being parked up at hotspots because they are known to be sex workers, driven around in vans for numerous hours, then taken to dirty cells. And they are refused phone calls, they are refused medication. Some of them are actually taken throughout the weekend and some of them have left their children.
These bodies, they put us in a wet cell. I was freezing cold. They have no evidence. You don't even appear in front of the judge. I have never stood in front of a judge in all these years.
South Africa has the highest numbers of HIV/AIDS in the world, and sex workers make up a disproportionate part of this population. But there's a huge contradiction in how the government of South Africa is dealing with this problem. On the one hand, the health sector is putting millions of dollars into trying to help female sex workers access better health care. And on the other hand, you have the police harassing sex workers and even arresting them for having many condoms on them, sometimes the same condoms that they've been given by the health workers.
When they confiscate these condoms from sex workers, in many instances, police are the ones who are asking favors from sex workers. We are saying sex work must be decriminalized so that our sisters cannot be abused, cannot be killed, because sex workers will walk freely on the streets with condoms in their pockets and negotiate with their clients in terms of safe sex.
All these sex workers want is to be protected by the law, to be able to walk into a police station and report cases, not being put in an exploitative situation where the brothel owner or somebody else has more ownership of what they do or their income.
The first time I bought my son a school bag, a backpack, I don't forget it. It was good, it was nice, but I can't say I was proud how I got the money.
South Africa has a lot of work to do to increase opportunities for safe work for women, especially poor black women with limited education. But criminalizing sex work has not stopped women who need to earn money doing this work in order to put food on the table for their kids, get their kids through education and towards a better future than they themselves had.
Policing sex work is a waste of scarce resources. Here they are wasting time and money, brutalizing and harassing vulnerable women who do not pose a threat to South Africa. Just decriminalize. It's about time.